I created a fun shaker card for you today using the Cake Slice Shaker among other brand new products from Pretty Pink Posh. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. And here are the products that I'm going to be using today. This is the streamer dies from Pretty Pink Posh, the Cake Slice Shaker, the Cascading Star Stencil, and the You Write Greetings. Now, I am a guest designer for Pretty Pink Posh, and I am so excited about this, and I have more projects coming for you guys, so definitely stay tuned to my channel to watch for that. Okay, I'm going to use some Cloud Whip. This is just a texture paste, and I am going to use a little bit of Spun Sugar Re-Inker for Distress Oxides. I want to tint my texture paste and use this with the Cascading Stars stencil. This is going to be our background for our fun shaker card. You guys, the products in this release are so adorable. It's their birthday anniversary. We're celebrating them. I am just so excited for them. And I'm so excited to be a guest designer for Pretty Pink Posh. I really do love their products. And I just feel super blessed that they asked me to do this with them. There are some blog hops coming up along with some Instagram hops. So definitely be paying attention for that because they are going to be giving away some fun gift cards. Okay, so now that that is all done, I'm going to clean off my supplies. I have a couple little spots that I needed some more stars, so I'm just going to add 2 more little stars. Then I can set this aside to dry, and it does dry really quick. I'm not doing a ultra thick layer. If you saw, I was scraping the excess off of my stencil, so look at how cute that is. Okay, let's go to our Cake Slice Shaker. I am going to die cut that from some mixed media white cardstock from scrapbook.com. I have that, can you see that die where there's 3 rectangles? I did not need to cut that out because I'm going to cut that out of the cake itself. So we're going to cut out these windows because these are going to be shakers. I'm going to create each window as an individual shaker. You don't have to do that. But I'm lining that up. I'm going to tape that in place and then run that through my die cut machine again. Then I'm going to use some gold mirror cardstock from Spellbinders along with one of the dies from the streamer dies. This cute banner die. I'm going to die cut 2 of these from gold mirror cardstock. Then I die cut a bunch of the banner pieces that we're going to adhere to that, and I am going to ink blend in pinks and a green. I am using Spun Sugar, Kitsch Flamingo, and Picked Raspberry for my pinks, and then I am using Cracked Pistachio for my green. So I'm starting with Spun Sugar, then I'm going to come in with Kitsch Flamingo and just kind of create an ombre look. I'm adding a darker area at the top of the banner, and then I will do that for my next set of pinks. So the next set of pinks will be Kitsch Flamingo, and then Picked Raspberry will be the darker area at the top. I did die cut more little banner pieces than I needed, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to lay the banners on the background. So I wanted to make sure I had enough because I don't love having to come back and recolor something or re-die cut something if I don't absolutely have to. So I'd rather do it all at the same time and do a little bit extra. So the Picked Raspberry, I'm just doing darker at the top and a little bit lighter at the bottom. But I think these are turning out really, really cute. You'll see how cute they are once I pop them out. It was easy to ink blend them, keeping them in my paper after I did the die cutting. So now that I am finished with that, we can start gluing these together. I don't fill up the banners all the way because I know I'm not going to need it that long. So I think I did 7 on each, and I'm going to alternate pink and green, and then, so I'm doing a dark green, a dark pink, then the green, then the light pink, then the green, then the dark pink. So I did add a little bit of liquid glue, some dots on that. I'm using my Pick Pro tool just to tap them in place. making sure everything kind of lines up nicely. And I was counting, I was making sure I was doing everything correctly for, you know, multiple layouts essentially. So let's add that last one. I'm going to do that for both of these banners. I love that these banner dies have multiple banners in it. I just thought this one was really, really cute. And so that's why I went with this one. But you could do multiples of them. That would be really, really darling too. Like I mentioned, this release has some, just all the products are so, so cute. I got such fun products. I cannot wait to share more videos with you guys. I've got 2 more videos after this one, and then I'm probably going to do some more because I haven't even used all the products yet. So then those little insert pieces that we die cut out of the cake, I am going to ink blend with the pink. So this is to me like the layers of the cake, but it's going to be pink even though the cake is chocolate, if that makes sense. So I use Spun Sugar. That's going to be my lightest one, then Kitsch Flamingo, and then picked Raspberry. So kind of, again, an ombre look that's going to be inside of the cake from light to dark. Let's do our last one here. And these do have stitched edges. I love it. The cake itself, and then these little inside pieces have some little stitched elements, which just is another extra added something to the dies, and I love that. Okay, now that our stenciled background is dry, I'm going to take more of that Spun Sugar re-inker, Distress Oxide re-inker, and just splatter the background a little bit. I wanted a little something else to go on that background, but I also wanted it to be soft because I wanted everything else to stand out. I am ink blending the cake itself with gathered twigs. I just switched to my dome foam tool because it was ink blending better than my brush. I wanted a darker color. Then walnut stain around the edges, just to give a little bit darker. I mean, I love a chocolate cake. That's my favorite. It's so, so, so yummy. So I like chocolate. Like I like dark chocolate. I want it to be rich and yummy. And then the top is going to be a little bit of the walnut stain, and then also ground espresso because that is a bit darker, and I'm going to go around the edges. I'm going to use some low tack tape because I just kind of want the top darker, so that looks like that has more of that chocolate frosting. Now, what I should have done here is stamped my sentiment on the left side of the cake. Totally didn't do it, totally forgot. And so I end up doing it later, but I would have heat embossed it with white. I'm not unhappy with the ink that I used for the sentiment, but I would have heat embossed it with white. So I would have done that now before this next step, before I used my acetate behind it, because I don't want my acetate to buckle from the heat tool. So that's the only reason why I'm mentioning that now. So I just trimmed down a piece of acetate to fit behind my cake. I'm just adding some liquid glue, and then I can press that down on the back and set that aside. Actually, I don't set that aside to dry. You can set it aside to dry. I actually started adding the foam adhesive. I'm using a 3mm foam adhesive, and I'm going to cut one of these thin strips in half so it's thinner because, like I mentioned, I do want to have each one of those little rectangle windows be their own shaker. So that means I need some really thin foam adhesive. So cutting that in half, I was able to get the right size that's going to fit on the side and the in-between and bottom layers. It fits perfectly, you guys. So again, this is 3mm foam adhesive. I only need to do one layer because that is tall enough for what I'm going to be using. And then I can use a normal size piece of foam adhesive to go on the top and down that right side. And then again, that gives us our 3 layers of shakers. I want to do that because I want to see the confetti in all of those layers. I don't want it just sitting at the bottom of the cake. So if I didn't put that foam adhesive in the center, then it would. I did forget to show you that I just glued down those pieces that we ink blended. I just lined them up with that, with the stitched lines inside this back card base, because I die cut another one again with the whole cake die piece without cutting out the center pieces. So I'm adding in Pretty Pink Posh's metallic gold confetti, and then I can just lay this over, line that up, and now we have our 3 layers of cake. So, so cute. I love it. And now we have 3 little shaker windows with fun gold confetti inside, or gold sequins inside. I love that. Now I also have a candle. There's the little pieces that I ink blended, like the frosting edge when you make a decorative edge on a cake. And there's The candle piece, I decided to ink blend that in the cracked pistachio because we already have pink inside the cake. Everything is kind of pink and green except for my yummy chocolate cake. And then I opted to use a couple colors of Copic markers to color the flame for the candle. It was easier than ink blending. It's a tiny little piece. So I'm going to use a light yellow and a darker yellow. Once I get this adhered to my candle, then I'm just going to color that briefly. It won't take very long at all. And then there's the little piece that your candle is going to sit into, and I made it chocolate. I just figured it's just a little dollop of chocolate, a little fancy whatever, and then I'm going to tuck my candle inside, and then we have this cute birthday cake shaker, cake slice shaker with a fun birthday candle on top. I love that. Then I am using a glitter brush pen. It's clear and I'm just adding color. I'm taking what I squeezed out on my desk because I was squeezing it to get it started, and I had a lot of extra left over on my desk and I didn't want that to be wasted. So now I remembered, oh my gosh, I wanted to do white heat embossing for my sentiment, but I put this in my MISTI. I'm able to stamp it just fine because there is foam adhesive underneath. I'm using black ink. I don't hate it, but I do wish I would have done white, but I was not going to redo it over. So it says, make a wish. This is from the You Write Greetings. I love that they are vertical. I just think that is so much fun. I've been waiting for some sentiments like that, so I'm so glad now I have that in my stash. Okay, I'm going to adhere down these banners. I laid them out in a bajillion different ways, and I ended up with this one, obviously. And I can trim off the excess once that dries, and then that cake can just be adhered right in the center. I'm using some tape runner and liquid glue because I do have texture paste on the back, and that liquid glue is really going to hold it in place when it dries. Then I placed a bunch of those metallic gold confetti all over the background. I have some on that cake frosting, but I do take that off because I don't love it, but I do love these on the background, and this will be adhered to a white A2 size card base. Look at how cute this is. I love how this turned out. All of those products are so fun. I love this shaker card. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project. I hope you feel inspired, and stay tuned for more Pretty Pink Posh videos.